we have to talk about Ohio State, Michigan, which we're so used to going one way. As a matter of fact, this is the first win that Michigan has had against Ohio State since 2011. We're coming up on 10 years of absolute dominance from the Scarlet and Gray that ended today, mostly on the back of Hassan Haskins, who, you can see right here, was having an absolute day. I mean, look, you could give it to Donovan Edwards, you give it to Hassan Haskins, you could give it to Blake Corum. Michigan had decided today we're just going to run all over and stop Ohio State from doing what they want to do. And I thought the thing that was really impressive to me was that Michigan was able to play the kind of football that has become synonymous with Jim Harbaugh. We're going to run the ball, we're going to control the clock, and we're going to play outstanding defense, which is easy to say. But when you've got Ohio State's offense that you're up against, one of the things that we always think is, hey, at some point, that team is going to start clicking. Ryan Day's aggressive offense is going to hit you over the head for perhaps 50 points. And that never happened today in the 42-27 win. But again, as much as I want to talk about how great this rushing attack was, I really need to give credit to that Michigan secondary, which really clipped that three-headed monster at Ohio State of Chris Olave, right? Of Garrett Wilson, of Jackson Smith and Jigba. Even as C.J. Stroud had what looked like a Heisman performance, you weren't able to punch the ball in. You weren't able to convert on third downs. You weren't able to keep the drive going. And when you gave the ball back to Ohio State, you got Hassan Haskins doing this. As a matter of fact, during the Big Ten media days, I got to talk with Jim Harbaugh about his team. And I got to meet guys like Aiden Hutchinson, who we'll talk about here in a bit, and Josh Ross. But Hassan Haskins was there, and he was a little bit quiet. But I asked Jim Harbaugh about him. He said that's just his way. Hassan Haskins is one of my favorite football players. And I thought that was curious at the time. I don't think it's curious anymore. This man was absolutely wanting to bring all of his body into every one of his runs. He was ready to truck Ronnie Hickman. He was ready to hit anybody who was ready to come downfield on him. And that offensive line was just moving Ohio State. I've never seen this season a team move Ohio State's defensive line like this one, except the last one that did it. So you remember, I'm the guy telling y'all, hey, but Ohio State lost to Oregon, okay? You look at this Michigan football team, and you will see Super Oregon. They had not one, but two outstanding defensive ends. Aiden Hutchinson not only was eaten today, he broke a 25-year-old school record for sacks in a season today, getting into the backfield and taking C.J. Stroud to the ground. He's got 13 this season. He gets to play in the Big Ten championship game next Saturday, for which we'll have a live tailgate event to tell you about in a little bit. You also had on the other side, David Ojabo, who was also in the backfield, right? Big number 55, dropping back in coverage. I wouldn't do that too often, like putting them on wide receivers and whatnot, but they were able to do it. And one of the reasons they were able to do it is because they could get consistent pressure up front. The other thing I thought was really important about this game was just how Michigan never let up. Lots of opportunities for them to just sit on the ball, for them to forget what they're doing, or to go into halftime and think they have this game won. As I was watching this game earlier today, right here in the Fox Sports studios, with Beanie Wells, with Cardale Jones, with Jeff Schwartz, I kept asking some version of this question of how much longer do we think Michigan can keep doing this? And as the clock kept ticking, and I saw Hassan Haskins go into the end zone, not 3 times, not 4 times, but 5 times, tying the school record for rushing TDs in a game set in 1968, it was becoming clear to me that Ohio State had no answer for what Michigan was doing defensively. And you got to get stops to get the ball back so that your offense can score. Now, the thing that I thought was really interesting is perhaps, wow, look at that. Man, look at this. That's the poster, man. Like, all due respect to Cam Brown on that play, but your mama saw that. I saw that. We all saw that. Hassan, you need to get that one blown up, have that one put in the hall right next to where they think they call themselves Michigan men. Be like, nah, did you do it like number 25 over here? Because that's a game of games. I was actually asking this question of Beanie Wells and Cardale Jones. When's the last time we saw a tailback from Michigan completely dominate this game and win it? They couldn't really get back to one in which they'd seen. Mike Hart had been great, right? But did he dominate this game in a win? Had to take it all the way back to Tim Biaka-Batuka. That's how far back we had to go to find another Hassan Haskins type of performance. And all credit to Jim Harbaugh on this. Who earned it, man? 0-5 going into this game against Ohio State with losses to both Urban Meyer and Ryan Day. He's got an abysmal record against top 10 opponents. He gets one in what looked like horrible temperatures and weather and absolutely grinded out a signature win in his way. And he had quote of the day. Some people think they were that were born on third base think they hit a triple. Talking about Ohio State and perhaps Ryan Day, who inherited a Lamborghini because Urban Meyer left it in such great condition and all he's had to do was drive it. Now, I wanted to ask this question of you on the Twitter. So if you followed me at RJ_Young, you saw this and I was looking for replies, and producer Kat was kind enough to comb through them when I asked, where should Michigan be ranked in the college football playoff rankings this Tuesday? Let's see some of your tweets on the board. So here we got Kayvon Thibodeau. This the man, right? This the man. That's the man. That's Ric Flair over there. That's the nature boy. He said, I think we will be number 4, but probably will end up being number 3 because Alabama will have to play Georgia. Now, this is interesting. Saying that he thinks they're going to be number 4 with 2 losses, I think is nonsensical. I think that's, shall we say, wishful thinking on the part of Big Cinco. But they took care of business against Oregon State in their rivalry game today. They will represent in the Pac-12 championship as the Pac-12 North champions, which was, not a sure thing. If Oregon State had showed up and beat them, perhaps they get in. Perhaps Washington State gets in. It would have been anarchy. All right, producer Cat, show me the next tweet in this we out here. Okay, we got Crispy. I like that. I don't know what we're doing with the avatar, but I like Crispy. Okay. It says 2 is where he thinks Michigan will be ranked. Best win in CFP in college football. 1-loss team headed into being the favorite in the conference championship. There's an argument for this. And the argument is stomping a mud hole in Ohio State and walking it dry. Okay? We're going to give as good as we get. Y'all hold that water for Oklahoma. But I think he's got a really great argument, especially as we'll talk about a little bit later, because of how Alabama has performed. But there's another team that y'all are sleeping on, and they're from the state of Ohio. Producer Cat, let me see this next We Out Here tweet. Brian Twining? I think that's it. If I said it wrong, you just hit me up with the audio on the Twitters, because I like to get these pronunciations correct, but I'm going to just go with Brian for now. He says below Cincy, who should be number 2. What? I have no truck with this. This is a man who likes my top 25. That's all I can get. Brian, yeah, impossible is nothing. No, I'm with you. I like this. All right. Now, Ohio State fans, we have had an on-again, off-again relationship, and I understand it, right? Because I'm not loyal to you any more than I'm loyal to Oklahoma. What I'm loyal to is winning. I like winners. I think you play the game to win it. Now, we're going to get to my squad. But I had asked, how are y'all feeling after taking this hard L for the first time in nearly a decade to a team we all thought you should beat? You are a 7-point favorite. That's more than a touchdown. In Ann Arbor with that high-octane offense that still can be the first team since 2007, Tulsa in 2007. To have a 4,000-yard passer, 3 1,000-yard receivers, and a 1,000-yard rusher on the same team. But Michigan's going to be like, yes, and we beat that 42-27. We got Joe over here who, sent me a TLDR. Disappointed for the team and the great upperclassmen like Haskell, Olave, Wilson, etc. Pity for that team up north fan. You can say Michigan, they won, because Jimmy will find a way to fail in the Big Ten title game, and excited to see OSU hang 80 on that team up north in 2022, unless they leave on a high note and join the MAC. All the shade in this tweet. All right, It's a lot to take apart here. But the first is nobody wanted to be the team that ended that streak, right? We're talking about an entire class, fifth-year seniors, quite honestly, at Ohio State that don't know what it means to lose to Michigan. So for guys like Olave, for guys like Haskell Garrett, for guys like Garrett Wilson, I feel for them as well. For guys like Travion Henderson and C.J. Stroud, you get another opportunity to do this. Now, fail to win the Big Ten title game. All right, have you thought about what that would mean for Ohio State? Because where I'm just looking at this, you want Michigan, well, y'all probably never want Michigan to do anything well, but you really want Iowa to be your Big Ten representative? Because then you ain't got no shot to make the college football playoff, and at the very least, you don't get to say anymore that we lost to a college football playoff semifinal, which is what losers do. I know this because so many people have told me this about losing to Oklahoma, okay? The other part about this, the MAC part, what the MAC do to you, dog? Except give you great football on Tuesday nights that you don't deserve. The MAC plays outstanding football. I don't like the MAC shade here, but back in 2022, to see him hang 80, we'll see about that. And for those of y'all that don't remember, because I do, in 2020, there was all this scuttle about what Ohio State was going to do to Michigan, right? Michigan's having a bad year, 2-4, that the game wasn't played for the first time in 102 years. And all Ohio State wanted to do was to get one in on the Michigan Wolverines. And now we got Michigan looking at you like, how you feel about yourself? What we learn? What we learn? We got Aiden Hutchinson claiming this to be the best day of his life. Saying, hey, look, I heard you when you said you were going to drop 100 on me. Saying, yeah, I heard you. I saw you when you were stepping on my jersey. Look at you now. I'm with Aiden on this, man. If you get roasted, you get toasted. That's the rules on the show. All right, Producer Cat, let me see this next tweet we have. My man, he took the M-Mac straight up. All right, we're going to go with Jay Miller. I feel bad about losing, but I feel worse for the players and coaches. Poor players, it will get fixed. I trust in Ryan Day. I think that's sober, right? I think that is the right thing to say. And Ryan Day said, look, this is an absolute failure for us. That's how it felt for him. And he had talked earlier this week about spending every second thinking about the game, thinking about beating Michigan, because it means something different in Columbus, Ohio. I think it even means something different in Columbus, Ohio than it does in Ann Arbor, especially here of late, because that was a streak they were very proud of and one they wanted to keep going for some time. Thanks for watching this video, and remember, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any other videos on the #1 ranked show YouTube channel.